Yeah, so this is a company, to your point, nominally at 28 billion would be the third largest IPO ever on any exchange. So behind SpaceX, behind Saudi Aramco, which is pretty mind-boggling to be completely honest. The thing to keep in mind is, so this is an ADR IPO. So basically they're selling shares for the first time here in the US. They will maintain a home listing on the other side of the world in South Korea. Each ADR represents 1/10 of one common share. Why does that all matter? A, as you mentioned, a $28 billion offering is very large. B, this is a company worth more than $1 trillion. And C, this opens up everyone on Wall Street, everyone in the US to now actually trade SK Hynix on New York hours, on US hours, and be able to cater to not only retail investors, but institutional investors. We already saw Bailey Gifford, Coatue, and Situational Awareness Partners indicating they want to buy as much as $7 billion of this deal. So big numbers, but it's also a right time for the company.
Timing. I've heard people talk about maybe this feels a little top of the market kind of thing. Are you hearing that out in the marketplace?
Yeah. When we talk to people, the main question is, can we structurally say this time is different? And why does that matter for semiconductors? Semiconductors are the most cyclical business on Wall Street. So this is an industry that booms and busts as kind of the PC and smartphone eras evolve and as sales kind of mature from there. The big question is, will we continue to see demand for building out data centers? Will we continue to see that here on Earth and potentially as SpaceX wants to do in space? And the big question from there goes, these are companies that want to spend hundreds of billions of dollars to build out manufacturing capacity. Right now, there's a bottleneck to get compute and get access to these chips. Well, what happens if it's not that easy? And that's the big risk.
So just from a U.S. listing perspective, is this going to go in various indices? Is SK Hynix in the various indexes around the world?
It's in some. When you just kind of look using the WGT function, which will pull up which indexes the company is in. Obviously, again, it's one of the bigger companies in the world. So it's in obviously a big driver behind the Kospi, the Korean exchange. It's also in a number of those emerging market indexes. The big thing to keep an eye on and the big thing that does matter is it's not eligible for fast track NASDAQ 100 inclusion, but in the long run, it will likely be included in the NASDAQ 100 and everything that brings. Obviously, we talked about that with SpaceX. That is a fundamental shift for a company, again, that has been very difficult to trade for U.S. investors. And then the question from there goes, okay, do we get to see double and triple levered ETFs and kind of what happens with that entire explosion from there?
So will this open up new buyers, I guess, potential new owners for this stock?
Yeah, when we've spoke with a number of institutional investors, whether they couldn't trade companies that are listed in an emerging market, whether they just don't want the headache of worrying about foreign exchange and hedging some of those risks, those have been top of mind. We do know a few investors that we spoke to for our story that went out Sunday morning. There also are investors who just aren't comfortable with an ADR. They want to own companies that are domiciled here. They want to own companies that their primary listing is in the U.S. as opposed to this. It'll be interesting to see what kind of premium it trades at. This is kind of ripping off the playbook that we saw with Taiwan Semi. But again, that was a company that raised a few $100 million, not closer to $30 billion.
What's the timing of this deal?
It'll price and it'll trade on Friday. We expect pricing to happen sometime Thursday morning here so that it would open up, kind of making sure that people are able to trade accordingly in South Korea there Friday morning. It's a truncated process. It's a quicker process. But even talking to the bankers on the deal, if you want to invest in SK Hynix, you probably know who the company is, and you're not selling a new entire pitch. The one thing that we've been pointing out is their main roadshow at 1:30 p.m. New York time will be the only real interaction with management on a webcast for potential institutional investors.
So they're just doing a webcast?
Kind of a webcast, very quick process. Again, it's tied to it. I'm overcomplicated.
Just another great day to be an IPO banker, right?
Yeah, they're making, I think it was 50 bips on this deal. So we had a few bankers who said, this isn't easy, but when you compare to being at the beck and call of Elon Musk, night and day between the SpaceX IPO.